Hello everyone, welcome to my channel and to another video. As the title suggests, this is a video in my autumn cleaning series all about managing multiple children sharing a bedroom. Okay, so before I share my tips on having multiple children sharing a bedroom space, I just want to introduce myself if you are new around here. Hello, my name is Claire. I'm a mum of three in the south of the UK, and my channel is all about my life as a working mum of three. I share grocery hauls, some cleaning videos, meals of the week videos, lots of day in the life videos, just bringing you along for my journey as a working mum of three. I try to be very honest, very relatable. I think there's so much on YouTube that is fake and makes everything look hunky-dory and rosy, and that's just not the reality for most people, and that is really what I'm trying to get through on my channel. So if that sounds like your sort of thing, please hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and then you'll be notified every time I upload a new video. There is also a new feature in the comments section. If you swipe across, it's called Hype, and you can hype your favourite creators' videos, and it just helps push our channels out there, lets YouTube know that more people want to see the content that we're creating. So you've probably gathered by now that I have three children sharing a bedroom space, which, whilst not ideal, we do manage really, really well. So my first tip for managing a shared bedroom with multiple children, whether you're sharing 2, 3, 4 children, whatever gender, whatever age, is the furniture you have in there has got to be practical and workable. So we have a set of bunk beds, which my two younger children sleep in, and then opposite that we have a high sleeper for my eldest. Now this works really well because it obviously utilises the floor space and the space in the room as best possible. We have all the floor space still underneath the high sleeper, and it stops us needing 3 beds in the room, which would leave no room for any furniture. And then what we have is each child has their own chest of drawers. Now we have lots of IKEA furniture in this bedroom. We love IKEA furniture. It's so affordable, it's really easy to put together, and it's actually really sturdy. So they each have a chest of the Malm IKEA drawers. They've got 3 deep drawers in there, and all of their clothes fit in there nicely. We also have utilised some hanging space on the back of the door. We have 2 hooks, one for bags and then one for my eldest school shirts and blazers. So that's another way we've utilised the space as well. And we have given them each their own chest of drawers, and the space on top of that is for their own things. So they have sort of decorated it, set their things out however they want them, and it's just their space to display their little trinkets and stuff in whatever way they want. It may not be aesthetically pleasing from an Instagram perspective or an adult's perspective, but I thought it was really important to let them have their personality come through in its own way, in their own little bits of their room, even though it's a shared space. So if you've got multiple children sharing a room and you're wanting to give them their own space, their own place to display their own things, that is a really good way of doing that. Or dedicate a couple of shelves that you put on their walls just for their own things, so they can personalise them and really make it their own. Another way we've utilised the bedroom to enable their own personalities to come through is by encouraging them to put up artwork and things that they want by their bed to make their bed space their own. I don't mean these ones that I'm taking off now. They are just drawings that my children have done. They're going to go back in the craft box because mummy can only look at mess and stuff for so long, so they're going to go back in the craft box. But when we were on holiday, my boys both bought some artwork that we had framed, and my husband has hung on their walls by their beds. You can just see my middle one's poking out there. My eldest has got a frame by his bed, and it's just a way of personalizing their space again, making their own little personal space within a shared space. So that's another tip. If you have got children wanting to put their own stamp on their bedroom, give them a dedicated wall space by their bed if you can, to either put a shelf up or put a piece of artwork up. My middle child's also got his Minecraft lamp mounted on the wall, and it just really makes their bed space feel like their own rather than like they are just sharing a bedroom. Another tip I have is for when it comes to decor and decorating the room, you could have, if you've got 2 children sharing a room, you could let them pick 2 walls of colours and like one, say one wants a blue wall, one wants a green wall, have two walls blue, two walls green. And that can be a real good way of personalising their room to make it feel like they've got what they like in there. I've gone very neutral in mine because I do have two boys and a girl. So we've painted the walls grey. And then we can accessorise with other things. So we've got obviously their bed sheets. The one set of their bed sheets, my daughter has a pink star one and the boys have navy star ones. I would like to get other sets for them in time that they would like. So that's another way you can personalise their bed space by letting them pick out their own bed sheets, one that really suits their personal style. Perhaps it's a football team that they support or a game they love. My kids are into Minecraft and Roblox and things like that. So that is on my shopping list, a really personalised set of bedding, and that can really make them feel like they are in their own space as well, because if they're anything like my children or like me, they love a lovely good bedding set. So bedding, soft furnishings like cushions, cuddly toys, as you can see my children have many of them, just little bits that they can put in their own spaces to put their own personality and stamp on their space is another great way of making it nicer for them to share a bedroom, because I'm sure most children would want their own bedroom, but it's not always practical, it's not always feasible for families to do this. So now I'll move on to the practicalities of having 3 children sharing a bedroom. Now it really depends on the ages of your children, excuse me, because if you've got young children, then they're likely to not want their own space, they're likely to want to play together, they're likely to share toys, they're likely to have a similar bedtime. And this is what happened when my children were younger. Now they are getting older. My eldest is 12, my other son is 9, and my youngest is 7. They have slightly different bedtimes and slightly different routines, which is easy enough to manage, but it just takes clear communication. So if in the evening they're going to bed, my younger 2 may put their books down or turn their tablets off or whatever a few minutes earlier than my eldest, because of obviously the age difference. They do tend to all get into bed at a similar time, purely because I feel like it is really important for them to have time to wind down before bed and have just a quiet space to read. My youngest likes to read in bed before she goes to sleep. My other 2 tend to like to watch something on either their TV or on their iPads before they go to sleep, and I'm totally fine with that as long as they are in their beds winding down. And then they will have their set times of which they need to turn their devices off, and they all just understand that it's quiet time. They also talk amongst themselves, which is a plus to having siblings sharing a room, is they do get to spend more time together and they do interact and talk to each other, and that is lovely to hear. When I'm sort of doing my evening things and doing my jobs, I can hear them talking to each other, and when they wake up in the morning I can hear them chatting before they all get up out of bed. So something else that we've had to implement and manage as they've gotten older is when they would like some time on their own to play or space to play. My boys don't play with toys as much now they're getting older, but my youngest is still very much into her Barbies and things, and sometimes she just wants to be in her room, set up a Barbie scene and play, and that's absolutely fine. Likewise, sometimes my middle one wants to do that as well with his toys, and it's really important that they understand that their siblings need space to do that. So I have said to all my children, if they ever just want to chill out in their room on their own or play or have some time on their own, all they have to do is let me know, and then we will set a timer on our Alexa for them to have a certain amount of time to do whatever they want on their own, and everybody else will just go and hang out in the living room or in my room if they want to watch TV or something like that. So that is another way, another tip of how to manage children sharing a space, because as they get older, they may have roommates, they may go to college and share rooms with people. They are probably going to have to live with families of their own one day and learn to share space. So it really is just about open communication, keeping the lines of communication open, telling them what they want to do, and managing it really, because as they get older and they move in with friends or have their own families, we all have to share a space at the end of the day, don't we, as a family? So it's just a really good life lesson for them as well, to learn to negotiate and allow other people their own space as well as getting their own. As it stands, my youngest is the only one that has ever asked for this, and we even have this if we go on holiday and they have a room with some shared space there. she will say, I would just like half an hour to play on my own, or I'd like some time on my own to play. And then we just communicate that to the rest of the family. And that's just a really easy way of being able to give them their own space within, again, a shared space that they have to share with their siblings. So it's really workable. You just have to get creative, really. And to be honest, I like the fact that my children aren't all hidden away in their own bedrooms, not interacting with one another. It is very nice that we're all sort of living in and around each other rather than everybody being separate and shut off on their own. So whilst there are obviously a lot of advantages that come with them having their own bedrooms and their own space, it is also, there are lots of advantages for them having a shared space. I think it just it gives them life skills about sharing and cooperating and compromising, which is something they're going to need to have in their adult lives every single day. So coming back to the issue of space, because that is going to be the one thing that's at the forefront of most people's mind when they've got children sharing a bedroom, is the space and how to work the space. If you want to really maximise the space and you have got more than 2 children sharing a bedroom, you can get triple bunk beds. Now, we don't have them. It is something I've considered, but I thought with the ages of the children, getting one of them up on the top bunk, and for ease of changing the beds and just the sheer amount of cuddly toys my children seem to have, I don't know how practical that would be for us, but I do know several people that do have triple bunk beds and they do work really well for them. I have mentioned a triple bunk bed to my children in the past, but they've not been keen on the idea, so we have got it set up the way we have, and I feel like that works really well for us at the moment. The other thing to bear in mind when you've got children sharing a room is the sheer amount of stuff children have. My children accumulate so much stuff throughout the year that when you've got children sharing a room, even when they've got their own rooms, it is paramount to declutter and sort out and organise periodically. It's never just a one and done sort of situation, especially when you have got 2 or 3 children sharing a bedroom space. They have a lot of things. They have several birthdays. We've got 3 birthdays in a year and Christmas each year, where not only are they getting presents from us, but they're getting presents from Santa, and they're also getting presents from friends and family, which is so well-meaning and so lovely. But when you've got limited space, it can be quite stressful finding a place and a home for everything. So decluttering and sorting on a regular basis is really important. And if your kids have things they just can't bear to part with, you can always put them in the loft or a self-storage, or if you've got a relative who's got a loft, or even a friend who's got some loft space. We are fortunate that we do have a loft, so we can put things in ours, but I'm aware that not everybody does. So I really hope that this video has been helpful. I hope it's been interesting, and I hope that you've taken away some useful tips from me. So if you have enjoyed this video, I would absolutely love it if you'd subscribe, hit the notification bell, because if you don't hit the bell, then it won't necessarily mean that you'll get notified whenever I upload a video. You do have to have those bell notifications turned on, and I will hopefully see you in my next video. Here I am, all finished with the clean, fresh bedding on, nicely dusted and hoovered, all ready for my children to mess up again. Thank you so much for watching. I will hopefully see you in my next video. Take care, guys. Bye.